What is going on, guys? Today I'm bringing you my very first PC build out of all this stuff. Spent roughly $1,700 between all the main components for the tower. In total, I probably spent around $2,500 for this whole setup, and now let's get to unboxing it and putting it all together. So the first thing we're going to want to pop out is this big old beautiful case by NZXT. Got the H440 mid-tower size, just because I'm not going too crazy in there. We're going to get this big old baby out of the box. Who needs packing slips, right? What do I need this for? I don't need it. So I went with the matte black and the red on this one. Oh, it looks like a beauty. Oh my god, I don't even know how I'm gonna get this thing out. This thing's huge. It's massive. Shit, how am I gonna get this out? Oh, can we do it this way? Oh, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna flip her over. Oh, that's a beast of a tower. Just looking at it still in the box, it's incredible. There we go. Oh. And there's our massive tower. Styrofoam, and then we're just gonna debag this woman. Just gonna stand her up real quick. I feel like this is like a car reveal. Like I gotta just. Look at that. And this massive window, just to take everything, like we'll get a nice little close up of that real quick. This thing is by far massive. I feel like I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna leave this on for right now. I'll leave that on. And I'm just gonna, so this way I don't scratch it while I'm doing everything else. Holy shit, I love the color of this case. It's like bright cherry red across here. It looks like a dull red on the screen though. But it's bright cherry red and it's got a nice smooth flat black finish. Oh, this thing looks incredible. Alright, let's take her apart real quick. So we got the panels off, so now we're down to just this basic gore. And I love this right here. It's like the letters are indented. It looks really clean and nice. And whew. Now you just gotta put stuff in it, you know? So let's fill her up. Alright, so now we have the computer laying down. Now we just gotta put in the motherboard. And for the motherboard, I went with the Z170A Asus. So, something fun. We're gonna undo this right now. And just look at it. Oh, look at how good that looks. It looks insane. Alright, now you just gotta get this out of the box. Set that over there for a second. Get all these other little pieces of parts. Put these all off to the side. Always need the user guides. Always. And then our port clip. At least that's what I think it is. We're gonna call it the port clip. That's what we're gonna go with. So now we gotta put this bad boy into here, and I'll update you when we're done with that. So now we're just putting in the screws for the motherboard, which you need 7, I believe. It goes along the perimeter of the motherboard. That's the last screw. So now we got our motherboard in. Next, gotta put in our little chip, which we got right here. Went with the i7 6700K, which allows you to overclock because of my CPU cooler that I got, which is right here. Went with the cryo rig, so allow me to overclock. It's one hell of a heat sink, and this is all gonna fit in there, I think, hopefully. First, we're gonna take this big old bad boy out of his box. But would you look at that? They sent me thermal paste. So I guess we'll use theirs. Boom. Gotta read that first. Got, looks like 2 mounting wires. And some plates and screws. And seeing as I have no idea what any of this really does, I have to read the instructions. So now we put our thermal paste on. I used this one from the cryo rig, what they sent me. And I simply applied it with an old credit card, and it smoothed out pretty evenly. I just gotta put the heat sink on. So, got this big old bad boy of a heat sink. It says remove this first. I'm gonna take this guy off. Boom, just like that. Stick it right there. Then I have no idea what this is supposed to be for, so we're gonna leave that where it is. And basically we're just gonna take it and sit it down right on top. Alright, so now we got our heatsink installed and plugged in. And we're gonna put in our RAM, and for here we got the Corsair Vengeance LXP 32 gigabytes. Hopefully that's enough. It's probably overkill though, so. We got 4 beautiful Corsair Vengeance cards. So we're gonna go ahead and open these bad boys up.
carefully place them in place. Be sure to first unlock it. That helps a little bit. There's one. There's two. And let's get 3 and 4 in there and call this a happy family. And here's 3. And come on. No, I don't want to fit. There we go. And 4. We just gotta lock them all back into place. There we go. There we have our 4 Corsair Vengeance cards. Our heatsink with the thermal paste and our i7 processor right underneath it. And we're coming along quite nicely. Alright guys, so now we got moving on. Hitting it with the EVGA 650 G2 gold power supply. And let's take a look at this real quick. Alright, so we have our full black cables there, and we have the actual power supply itself. Always gotta stay reading the manuals. But it comes in this nice little box, or bag, I would say. And then there it is, in all its shiny glory. It's beautiful. Here's shed a tear. Look at it. It's awesome. Awesome looking. We're gonna go ahead and put this in. Alright guys, so I just fed the power supply cords all the way through. Power supply is now chilling right down here. I can still slide it in and out. You see I'm pushing it back more. I'm just gonna slide up still. So, slide up. So I have it seated on the edge. Now we're just gonna bolt it back in place. Alright guys, so now that I've gone and run the power supply, secured it with the screws, and brought all the cables around the back, ran the CPU cord up to here, we now gotta lay the case flat, so we're gonna tuck all these guys back into here, so they don't get in the way, while we try to lay this guy flat, and then connect everything else. So we're just gonna tuck all these guys back in here. And we're just going to take the case, pick it up, kind of just lay it flat. The CPU cord is now up here, just leave it there. Now we got to take this badass motherfucker and put him in there. So now guys, now we're going to be dropping it in there and securing it with all the screws and hooking up the cable, and then we're going to do some cable management later with these little Velcro strips that they were so kind to send, instead of having to use zip ties. So that'll be a lot better, a lot neater, a lot cleaner. And I'll be able to change a lot of things up easier. So we're just going to take this guy, grab our cable again, and just kind of figure out which way it's actually going to line up. Oh, we're gonna actually take this guy and seat him first. Take that guy, I'm just gonna put him down really quick. Alright, so now that it's seated flat, got it pushed in against the back wall here. So it's all clean set up. And now we just gotta take CPU cable and plug her in. Boom, okay, so now the CPU is now connected to the power supply down here. We got our Corsair fan in here. We took out the stock NZXT one. We got our cooler. We got our CPU installed down there. We got our 4 Corsair Vengeances. Got it hooked up to the back. Now we just got to put the motherboard screws in place to hold her down. Alright, so now we got all the screws back in place, so the motherboard is now seated and will not move or shift, which is a good thing. You don't want to, no, when you stand the case up, you don't want that to come falling down into your window. That would be a bad idea. So, got that all seated now. Made sure this is nice and flush, which it is. Looks very nice over here. Everything's in place very nicely. And it looks quite fantastic so far. Alright, so now we're going to be installing the solid state drive and the hard drive. So, for my solid state drive, I went with the Samsung Evo 850. It's quite sleek and nice looking. It's very just standard black. It's soft black, so it goes with the case well, and it'll blend right in when it goes inside the case. So all we have to do now is just undo these thumb screws here, pull out the shelf, put this bad boy in, and then we got to put in our Seagate Pipeline HD 2 terabyte hard drive. So also we're going to have to pull out the shelf again, pull out a different shelf, and set this bad boy up. So we're going to do that now. So now we have our 2 trays out, and we're simply just going to mount these in based on the back 4 sets of screws that are going to line up with the 4 screw holes on here. So they'll mount just about like that. Hard drive is going to be the exact same way. Just going to have to mount that in using the 4 screws based on that. Alright, so now we have both the hard drive and the solid state drive both installed in their platforms. So now we're just going to put them back in. And boom, they're now installed and in place and ready to go. Now we're going to put in our graphics card. We got the EVGA FTW GeForce GTX 1070. So hopefully that'll give us enough power to run everything that we're going to be doing. And keep frames above 30. That's the hope here. So we're just going to unbox this real quick. Oh yeah, there it is. Let's give that a little bit of cut. Come across. Open her up. Looks like we gotta cut it again. Oh, I hate when this happens. It doesn't want to pop out. There we go. Oh, it doesn't even want to slide out. Well, that's bullshit. There we go. Comes in a super clean black box. I'm just gonna got the power cables wrapped up all nice and shiny. They even have EVGA written in the foam. And there it is. This beautiful baby. I'll go ahead and slide her out of here real quick. Oh, would you look at that? Beautiful. Gorgeous. So now we're gonna get ready to install this. Nothing else in the box. Foam back in place. Set the box off to the side. This is like porn to people, I know. Beautiful. Alright guys, so we finally got the entire tower set up. Window in place. Monitor built. Shark fin antenna. Everything's all good to go. We got all the cables managed, all the wires run, everything's bueno. And then I realized something. I didn't buy a damn disk drive, so I can't install any of my drivers to get this thing actually up and running. So I straight screwed myself on a $2,500 PC. All because I didn't buy a disk drive. Good job.